Hey SmugStick, it's everyone, welcome to a new What If story. This time we're asking the question of what if Super Buu joined the Z Fighters? I know this one could be a little bit hard to buy, but I think once you hear the actual explanation, you'll be on board. The like goal for this video is 4,000 likes. So, let's begin with the story. We open up in the battle between Majin Buu and pure Evil Buu. And this is where our biggest change comes in. Instead of Fat Buu being turned into chocolate, he bounces back the candy beam, actually overwhelming his skinny gray counterpart. Pure Evil Buu is turned into chocolate, and Fat Buu takes slow steps towards him, picking him up and eating him. Fat Buu begins steaming as Mr. Satan looks at him terrified, watching Majin Buu transform. The whole area is enveloped by steam as Mr. Satan approaches the monster with fear in his eyes. As the steam begins to dissipate, Mr. Satan notices that Majin Buu looks different. He no longer has a cape, and instead he stands tall, clearly more powerful than ever before. But while Super Buu stands there, he ramps up his power, screaming at the top of his lungs that he is hungry. Mr. Satan is confused. Was he still his friend or not? He carefully offers up some food as Super Buu turns his head and smiles. Buu likes Mr. Satan's food. The champ relaxed. He looked stronger, but he was still cheery and goofy. Meanwhile, from the lookout, Piccolo gulped. He still wasn't sure if this Buu really was a good guy or not. He was clearly changing because of Mr. Satan, but they had to stop him one way or the other. So he continued to train Goten and Trunks. At the same time, Gohan continued his training to get potential unleashed, but hours continued to pass, and Goten and Trunks eventually mastered the fusion. Gohan even completed his ritual, yet Buu never attacked. The old Kai and Shin insisted that they needed to take care of him, but even Goku was a little confused. Maybe he did turn a new leaf. Even so, Gotenks was tired of waiting. He wanted to prove that he could really take on Buu. So, after one last time of practicing the fusion, Gotenks, as a Super Saiyan, burst towards Buu's home as Piccolo tried to stop him. Mr. Satan tried to stop the situation. He did recognize the golden hair as that of the one who defeated Cell. He even tried to convince himself that it was all a trick, but he also tried to convince them that Buu was actually not a bad guy. Gotenks didn't believe it, and instantly attacked Buu. It was an all-out brawl, but this Super Buu wasn't being cruel or sadistic like the original. Instead, he was just having fun. He even admired some of Gotenks' crazy moves, and tried to take a bite out of the galactic donut. The annoyed Gotenks even came to the point of saying that a true hero would avenge everyone killed by Buu, showing off his Super Saiyan 3. Shin thought that Gotenks could actually beat Buu, but everyone else stayed quiet, because this Buu was completely different from the one they feared. Goku stood up and said that he thinks Buu was really changed for the better by Mr. Satan, and that he thinks they should maybe stop Gotenks. The old Kai thinks he's crazy, but Gohan continues to watch the fight. He thinks that his father is right. Gohan stands and tells Kibito that he is ready to go to Earth. Thankfully, the ritual to unlock Ultimate was finally done, and Kibito agrees to teleport him in. Gohan instantly bursts towards the battle site, as Gotenks is about to fire a great blast at Super Buu that would instantly end him. Just then, Gohan appears before the fusion and tells him to slow down, that he hasn't been listening nor sensing Buu. It seemed like the battle Buu had against his other self had really quenched the evil. Gotenks argued otherwise, even while Mr. Satan told him to please listen. But as they argued, a piece of Buu shot out from him and onto Gotenks, consuming him and absorbing. Gohan tried to stop him and burst out his aura, ready to fight. Maybe he really had been wrong about Buu. It had been a long time since Buu absorbed the Evil Buu. So much time, in fact, that we are at the point where Gohan gets absorbed in the original. Thus, Vegeta actually arrives on Earth with Uranai Baba, ready to help Gotenks against Super Buu. But instead he found Gohan fighting a Gotenks-absorbed Buu. Vegeta rushed in to help, but as the trio get ready to clash one last time, Mr. Satan ran in front of Buu holding B. He yelled at Buu to stop this, that although fighting is fun, gaining taking advantage because he absorbed some poor kid's power is not good. He is being very bad, and he won't get any more sweets if he keeps this up. These guys are trying to kill him. Vegeta wanted to just attack, but Gohan held him back. Buu looked at them with a scowl. He then began to steam out as he released Gotenks from himself. Buu apologized and said that he was just having fun and needed more power. He was just hungry anyways. It was weird to Mr. Satan. This Buu was clearly smarter than before, and despite his explosive temper, he still listened to him and cared more about having fun. Vegeta couldn't believe it, but his thought was cut short when Gotenks defused and Trunks ran to hug him. From the lookout and the Kaioshin realm, Goku and Piccolo sighed in relief. It looks like Mr. Satan maybe really had changed Buu for the better. Buu wasn't extremely thrilled to fight anymore. He was mostly just hungry, and there was plenty of desert for him to turn into candy. Gohan and Vegeta were still a little unsure, keeping an eye on Buu the whole time, but they had other things to do now. They needed to revive everyone and restore Earth. But the Dragon Balls had recently been used earlier to revive those killed by Majin Vegeta. That's when Goku thought of the Namekian Dragon Balls, getting the help of King Kai to help them communicate with them. The Namekians had already gathered them just in case Buu's attacks got worse, and were more than happy to help their Earthling brethren. The first wish was used to restore the planet to normal, and the second to revive those killed by Buu. Even Vegeta's halo disappeared. The final wish was to make those civilians forget about these events. Now, let me stop here for a second. Some people would argue that without the Spirit Bomb and the fusion, that Vegeta's soul would still be evil. But either way, Bulma and Trunks would have wanted to revive Vegeta, so the final wish would have been used for it. And later, the Dragon Balls on Earth would have been used to erase the memories of Buu. So this is just a little cleaner. With Buu remaining on Earth, Satan is reunited with Videl as he introduces everyone to Super Buu. They're all terrified, but Gohan promises them that he will make sure he remains in control. At least for now, he seems like a good guy. With that all being said, Goku had one final message for his friends. He was happy to see them all okay, even if he did have to remain in Otherworld. He's going to keep training, and is sure that he will see them once again when they all die. But there is one thing they can do. The Kaioshin has let him remain in the Supreme Kai world for now, and he is willing to allow visitors. In particular, he really wants to see what this new Buu is made of, since he never got to fight him, as well as Gohan, Gotenks, and Vegeta. The Z fighters are all happy, and they actually do get to have a picnic at the Kaioshin realm, all together to celebrate. It was a little bittersweet, and in the end, Kibito teleported everyone back home, and Goku had to stay. But when they returned, Bulma realized that Vegeta didn't come. She shook her head with a smile, as she knew Vegeta and Super Buu had both stayed behind to have a real fight and train with Goku. Mr. Satan stayed too, just in case Buu got a little too crazy. It was an incredible fight, and something they would routinely do from then on. Their power really skyrocketed, and even Buu got a better appreciation of all the different fighters, copying various techniques and learning more. And so, peace had returned. Buu could still be a problem. If the chef ever messed up his cakes at Mr. Satan's home, he'd go on rampages, which Gohan, as the great Saiyaman, would have to calm down. But there were a few peaceful years, with Goku inviting Buu, Gohan, Vegeta, Gotenks, and whoever else to train up at the Kaioshin realm. He couldn't leave, and it wasn't very often they could come. But slowly, he started to develop his Super Saiyan 3 even further, and Buu himself continued to grow. Goku wondered what it would be like to train someone like Buu. If only he could have been reborn as some little guy. Well, he would have to make do with this. And so, years passed on by. And so peace did remain. That was until the god of destruction Beerus appeared at the Kaioshin realm. He had recently had a dream about the Super Saiyan god, and heard that a Saiyan lived at the Kaioshin realm. Goku stayed there since it was easier for Vegeta and Buu to get there, and there was more space to fight. Thus, he stayed there more so than at King Kai's. Whis and Beerus appeared while searching for the Super Saiyan god, and were not impressed with base Goku. Even Super Saiyan 1 and 2 were nothing. Super Saiyan 3, however, actually made Beerus pause. Goku had focused on this form, as the stamina drain wasn't a big deal with his dead body. The constant training against Buu with it made it really impressive, and Beerus was amused when Goku actually managed to land a punch. He was lucky to already be dead, and friends with the Kaioshin. Otherwise, he would have erased him right then and there. But clearly, it wasn't the Super Saiyan God. Beerus resigned to go to Earth, where Bulma's party was going down. Vegeta retained peace for as long as he could, but Buu is still Buu. Despite getting told to be on his best behavior and being a little smarter, he is also a beast of nature. He had already eaten most of the pudding and refused to share. Gohan and Vegeta both run his way to try and stop him from doing anything stupid, but it's too late. He is eager to fight. If he was making Vegeta so scared, surely he was strong. And the stronger they are, the tastier they will be. Beerus and Buu clash overhead, with Super Buu himself impressing the god of destruction. The people of Earth sure are interesting. No wonder Buu was capable of so much destruction. In fact, Beerus was sure that he could sense God Ki within him. Unlike the original, where the godly power of the Grand Kaioshin mostly went to Kid Buu, all of it remained within Super Buu. At this point, it was clear to everyone that he had no choice but to battle. What they didn't expect was that Buu didn't want the others to interfere. This was actually fun. Beerus was severely holding back and was more so curious about this guy. As slowly, Beerus began to realize, not only thanks to the God Ki within Buu, but things he heard from the Kaioshin, that this pink monster nearly killed Shin, and by extension, almost killed Beerus. As the fight intensified, Buu was punched down to the ground, with Beerus threatening him with destruction. Suddenly, however, a piece of Buu jumped at Beerus from behind. His aura alone was enough to stop it, but it wasn't the only piece. Pieces of Buu tried to absorb several of the Z fighters, as he had left portions of himself scattered through the battlefield. This included 18, Tien, Gohan, and Piccolo. Gohan yelled at him to stop, but it was too late. Buu was getting desperate, and was sure that if only he had a little bit more power, he'd be able to overcome Beerus, not realizing that the god was hiding his true strength. The fight resumed, with Beerus laughing at the absurdity. He could gain powers from his allies like that? Not very nice, is it? But Buu's power did increase, even if just a little bit, and he pulled out his best. He made sure to utilize 18's infinite stamina to abuse the Tri-Beam over and over again, trying to predict where Beerus would be. From Gohan's incredible potential to Piccolo's battle tactics, they were all at full display. Beerus couldn't believe that this kind of monster had been living on Earth. It reminded him of another pink video game character he knew, using his friend's abilities like that. Beerus was having fun, but it was time to stop, appearing behind Buu and knocking him down. Before Buu could recover, everyone stopped in front of him and told him to stop, and to release their friends. He can't just be absorbing people like that. Buu was angry, but also fearful. With Piccolo within him, he actually understood the kind of threat Beerus imposed. The god of destruction began creating a giant ki ball behind him. He said that if that's the best they've got, surely no Super Saiyan god lived here. That's when Goku's voice was heard. Goku was talking to them with the help of King Kai, telling them that they should ask Shenron about the Super Saiyan god, and agreed that Buu needed to behave. Buu growled, but Mr. Satan's plea finally convinced him, as he released the absorbed warriors. Shenron revealed to them the god ritual, but immediately they ran into a problem. They didn't have enough Saiyans. Whis asked about the Saiyan from the Kaioshin realm, but he was already dead, wasn't he? Upon hearing this from the crystal ball, the old Kai instantly grabbed Goku, telling him that if they don't do something, that Beerus' anger will only rise. They've been the universe's defender so far, so if everyone dies, then who knows what could happen? Without asking, the old Kai gave Goku his life, so he could return to Earth and complete the god ritual. They were all happy to have Goku back, with Chi-Chi, Gohan, and Goten crying tears of joy, in addition to the revelation that Videl is pregnant. Vegeta was the one chosen as the head of the ritual. Beerus was already impressed by Goku before, so why not give Vegeta a chance? He was the Saiyan who was actually alive. Unlike Goku's fight, which takes him to space, Vegeta faces Beerus deep within the Earth's core. The battle reaches a critical moment, his moves a dazzling display of power and speed. However, as the fight intensifies, Vegeta's control over the Saiyan god form begins to wane. His connection to this new power was still unstable, and he began to lose it. As the red aura fades, Vegeta finds himself reverting to base, his godly power slipping away, surrounded by molten lava and the immense pressure of the Earth's core. His body battered, but his spirit unbroken. As Beerus prepares to launch what could be the final strike, Vegeta reflects upon his journey. He remembers his past obsession with surpassing Goku, how it consumed him, his every action driven by the need to be the best, the strongest. Yet here, in the face of certain defeat, Vegeta realizes that his motivations have shifted. It's no longer about being better than Kakarot. He fights for his family, Bulma, Trunks, and for the friends he's made along the way, though he would never admit it out loud. This realization reignites his will to fight, not to prove that he's the best, but to protect those he loves. Summoning every ounce of strength within his Saiyan pride, Vegeta powers up back into Super Saiyan God. In the final desperate move, Beerus and Vegeta rush at each other, fists pull back, full of energy. All the lava around them becomes completely still. As they clash fists, all of Earth begins to shake violently. Surely the world could be destroyed if this goes on. Lava explodes from below and surrounds them, as finally, with one last scream, to grab Beerus' arm with his other hand and slam him back down into the lava. But that was as far as Vegeta got, as he ran out of Super Saiyan God and fell into the lava himself. But instead of actually reaching it, Beerus rose from it, holding onto the prince. It was obvious to Beerus now just how different the prince was to his father. Things really had changed for the Saiyans. Thus, Beerus decides to spare Earth just for a little while, impressed by the many fighters and the fact that he found another whose hunger rivaled his own. He looked at Buu as he was about to leave, telling him to behave himself, and that someday he'll come to him for meals, since he now knew Buu could turn whatever he wanted into food. If only Beerus had that ability, how he would trade it for Hakai any day. And so, once again, peace returned. And that's also it for today's video. Don't forget to leave a like and tell me in the comments below just what you think is going to happen next. Who is Super Buu going to absorb next? As always, a huge thank you to the patrons of the channel, and if you're looking for more Dragon Ball content, I released a full breakdown analysis of the Bardock special, as well as the full story of What If Caulifla trained with Goku.